Hello, hockey fans. We're here for a new episode of Five for Talking. I'm here with Caps, the muscles in the sauce, the bench boss, assistant coach, and the head coach, and the head trainer, and Jason Spezza's assistant. Okay, so we're going to talk about the round three. Round two has ended. We're in the semifinals. We got a little bit of news. We got a little bit of talk. We'll keep this episode short and tight. So let's get the news out of the way.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't know why you made me laugh because you were laughing. So Jason Spezza.
Well, because you're like, let's keep it short, but then you did that heck of an intro. I was like, okay, that's cool.
Wow. Okay, you know what? He's talking bad about my intros. They're all
It's a
my
good
intros
intro.
are
It's a
about
good
him.
intro. It's a good intro. It's a good intro.
The
Just made me
sauce. We're
blush.
taking the sauce off the shelf.
Yeah,
Taking
I know.
So Jason Spezza got moved up to assistant to the general manager.
So he's an assistant to the general manager. Good on him. I personally think he's got one more year. I think he should play one more year just because of the fact that he's got a 995 points, and just same as to why Giordano rejoined the team. I think they have a very good chance of doing something very special next year. That's why I think he should come back and be a depth player and an influence to some of the younger guys. He could still do that same thing as an assistant GM. However, I still feel in his heart he still wants to be a player. And I
Is
still
he an
think that
assistant GM? I thought he was assistant to the GM.
I think you're correct. What's the difference?
I think he just helps the GM. He's not actually like in a manager position. Maybe he
Yeah.
is. Maybe I read that wrong.
It's possible that they're grooming him. He did say something that he was looking forward to going to help with the scouting and talking to the players and whatnot. Maybe his role hasn't been truly defined yet. But I think he's just doing a lot of these things to accumulate some skills to be groomed to be a GM in the future. I don't know if you want to add on to that.
I
That's just
thought my original thought was when they said he was going to be part of the organization, because at first they didn't tell what it was, and then he retired. Great career, by the way. He's an excellent player. I thought for sure they were going to groom him for a coaching position. Like maybe to be like one of the assistant coaches and then eventually take over for whatever that crappy coach's name is.
I think he wants to go the route of Steve Yzerman and Bill Guerin.
Hey, he clearly knows what he's doing, and you know what?
It's not like he would say no. I mean, like why not? In his case, there's always that chance that that offer might not be there for him next year. Because what if they do crappy and they just do a total overhaul and that position doesn't become available? So maybe he weighed the options and he came to that conclusion. I don't know, but either way, good on him. Great career. Supposedly a great teammate. Very influential on the players. But I honestly thought that he should have had one more year.
I thought so too. I would have even have said two. It's not like he was really old.
Yeah, and it's not like he would have came back and asked for a raise. He probably would have came back for the same deal he had for the last 2 years. So, it's a good option for them anyway.
It would have helped out to have his experience there, his abilities that he has there, and the fact that he was only going to cost them $700,000 probably.
You know what? It's so funny because I saw an article today before we came on, and it also said what it said was there's always that chance that he can come back even though he retired.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, anything can happen. He could change his mind midway through the season and just be like, you know what? I think they may need my help, and I'll just come back.
Whoa. Is this going to be one of those situations where they're going to wait until the playoffs and then bring him into the lineup?
Pull a Kucherov?
Yeah.
Who knows, man? Can they do that?
I don't even know.
Can they sign someone to a a league minimum contract at the start of the playoffs?
I think so.
Oh, that would be crazy. Talk about circumventing.
That's like what the NBA does.
That's crazy.
Anyways, okay, so moving on. I had a question for you. Do you want me to ask it or should I just not ask it?
I don't know. What's the question?
Okay, so if the Leafs could in this offseason, this is a hypothetical because there's a lot of free agents. If PK Subban was willing to come to the Leafs for the minimum contract to play back home in Toronto, would you take him? And if yes, why? And if no, why? At a minimum contract.
At a league minimum contract, so 700,000, or
Yes.
let's just say 1 mil.
Okay, let's say 1 mil.
Want to say 1 mil? Okay, 1 mil. When I bring a person that has a bad attitude, and
you have Mitch Marner on the team. You have William Nylander on the team.
Doesn't mean they got a bad attitude, do they?
When's the last time you heard about Subban having a bad attitude? It's been since like Montreal. I'm just speaking in hypotheticals, right?
It's definitely a risk, but I don't know if I've seen him do anything worthy in the last 3 years to warrant him getting signed to a $1 million contract for the Leafs. Giordano, on the other hand, you can clearly see that he was performing well with Seattle. However, the team around him just wasn't that great. This past year, I'm sorry, New Jersey didn't really have too many excuses. They had a pretty good team, and
2 years in a row they have.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, like, Subban is what, 33? Giordano's 38. It's like, to me, Subban should be miles ahead in terms of capabilities in comparison to Giordano. But
I think his issue, where I'm going to agree with you on that, is the fact that where a guy like Giordano has changed his game style for getting older, Subban hasn't. Subban is still trying to play 22-year-old Subban hockey when he should be trying to adapt to a style of hockey now where he's more stay-at-home defensive and a puck mover rather than trying to score goals. But he doesn't seem to get out of it. I think for $1 million I would, because he's better than Dermott. He's better than Hall. But
yeah, Dermott's not there anymore, though.
I'm just saying, like, in sixth defenseman that we've had, I think he's better. But at the same time, I agree he could be a problem in the locker room. I wasn't denying that. I was just trying to give you options of like possibilities.
No, you brought up a really good point. I never thought of it that way, and I should have thought of it that way because that's exactly what they brought Giordano for. As a depth defenseman, if they limit Subban's minutes.
Yeah, if he's what if he's playing with Sandin on the third pairing?
Yeah, if he's not playing 22 minutes and he's playing like 18, he might be very effective in that role. You know what? I probably am more open to it now than I was 5 minutes ago. So
but I mean, no, you made good
forgot
points.
About that.
You did make good points.
It's this is the thing. Like, this is the role of a GM. Like, you have to weigh the risks. You have to look at the options, and you have to make a decision. And sometimes they're bad, and sometimes they're good. It could pay off. You never know. If they can, it worked for Giordano. Like, he's not playing top minutes, and he's. And the guys that would benefit are the guys playing 22, 23, 24, 25 minutes a game. If they bring in guys that are capable and they could take those minutes away, it makes the rest of the team play that much better.
That's a good point. I didn't even think of that.
So, and that was the whole reason why they brought Giordano in and they brought in Lyubushkin in, is to limit some of the playing time of some of these guys that were playing like 28 minutes a game.
And hopefully we can re-sign Lyubushkin.
Hopefully.
We'll see how that goes. Okay, so let's move on to playoffs. So currently, we are in the semifinals, like I said. So the last round obviously just ended. Tampa Bay beat Florida 4-0. We already knew about that. The Rangers just beat Carolina 4-3. So that was the other one. I know you didn't watch too much of that series, but I watched it until the Rangers made their comeback. So and I thought Carolina was looking really good. And then those last two games, they looked
They pulled the
awful.
Calgary.
Yeah, they looked awful. Which
They
we'll
pulled the
get to
Calgary.
that. We'll get to that right now. But
Um,
yeah, that was
it,
bad.
it was clear that they were missing Anderson.
That seemed like the only thing that was wrong there. They just
Yeah.
couldn't. They had no one that could save anything.
Um, what do you do? Do you make changes, or do you come back and try it again
Um,
with Anderson?
I think I think you need to maybe get a little bit more, a little bigger. They're already bigger than the Leafs, but maybe just a little bit because otherwise that team is pretty good. Like they finished almost at the top, didn't they? Of like the one of the most stacked divisions in hockey, other than the one that we're in, minus the bottom teams. Well, they
Yeah,
did. They won their division,
I think
so
I think at this point, Campos is like they're expecting more
they
at this
should.
point.
They should.
So I don't know. Like I said, do they make changes or
I don't
they?
think you. I don't think you do anything unless a perfect situation comes along. Like maybe you fill out a couple little spots with small signings. If you get an option where someone's like, okay, give us Shvechenko and we'll give you Ovechkin. Okay, like maybe you think about it. Maybe that leadership is what puts you over the edge, right? But I don't know if you really do anything because Anderson's a good goalie. Are you going to get a
Anderson's
better backup than Ranta? Probably not. So I mean, it's hard to make that decision. Do you
yeah.
bank on getting rid of Anderson and bringing in another starting goalie and then they get injured? Do you know what I mean? So that's a really hard one. But I think you run it back.
Okay. Um, good on the Rangers. That line with is it Cop? Um, who else is
Cop,
on there?
Panarin.
Is it Cop or Kreider?
No, I don't even freaking know, man.
God dang it! But anyway, that line I'll look it up right now. That line is very good. Panarin started to get his legs back in that last game. Shesterkin is is amazing. Like the Rangers goalie is disgustingly good.
It's
Adam
Cop.
Fox.
Go.
Yeah, go for it, dude.
Cop, Strom, Panarin is the second line, and Kreider, Zibanejad, Vertano is the first line.
So where's Adam Fox? Is he on like the third line?
No, he's the defenseman. He's their number one guy. He won the
You're right.
Norris last year.
God dang it! I'm sorry. He is a defenseman.
You wouldn't know because he's offensively like a crazy player.
Yeah, it's just like a Makar.
Yeah.
But they're all. It's just if you got good depth, it's going to carry you. So the Rangers are playing at another level, and that'll be a very interesting series with Rangers versus Tampa. Tampa's going to spank them. I'm sorry.
4-0.
Sorry, Tampa's going to spank them. That's my prediction.
So I'll stick with you on this now, and I'm going to tell you. I was very upset. Well, first of all, because I wanted Carolina to go far, and I would have loved to have watched Carolina versus Tampa Bay. I think that would have been an excellent series. But when the Islanders, when the Rangers won, I was like, Tampa Bay got a free pass to the finals. I'm like, this is ridiculous. They have a horseshoe up their ass right now, and they're going to make it to the finals, and then watch, they're going to end up facing friggin' Edmonton or something, and they're going to win another cup.
Man. Are we going on to that series now?
Well, hold on. Let me get through the West. So we know Colorado beat St. Louis 4-2. So far, we've been pretty bad at predictions, at least for guessing the games. The Oilers absolutely embarrassed the Flames 4-1 in a series that the Flames, many people were saying would sweep.
I never said that.
We
Me
didn't,
personally, we didn't. We thought it would be like 6 games. That's what we
but a
thought.
lot of people thought it was going to be a sweep. Calgary lost 4-1. McDavid basically put the whole world on his back.
Draisaitl played on one leg.
Mike Smith actually showed up for once.
Jesus, did he ever?
Well, not for the whole series, for
Not
the
for the whole
last two
series,
games.
but for the one of the times that it counted the most, like he showed up. Like this is the furthest that the Oilers have ever gone with McDavid. So
this is the furthest the Oilers have gotten since they faced Carolina in the Cup, isn't it?
Well, yeah, with McDavid, yeah, because they did go to the second round and they lost to San Jose with McDavid. I mean, like maybe in his second season.
It's been a good 20 years since Edmonton's been this far.
But yeah, I mean, the last time they faced each other, Edmonton upset Colorado in the first round. Cujo versus Patrick Waugh, and the Avalanche were favored. So I'm pretty sure it's the same situation. And here's the inside scoop: it's 7-4 right now for the Avalanche going into the third. I didn't think it was going to be a high-scoring series, but yeah, I mean, I'm still going with my original prediction, and it was Colorado versus whoever came out of the Tampa and Leafs series. And in this case, it's Tampa. So I'm going with what I originally said. It's Tampa versus Colorado in the final.
I'm going Tampa versus Colorado in the final still. And I'm going to drop a prediction here. So I'm saying Lightning beat the Rangers 4-0. And I'm saying Colorado beats Edmonton 4-2. Edmonton wins both of the games at home. So it's going to go 2-0 Colorado, then 2-2, and then Colorado's going to win the next two. That's my prediction.
I'm not going to fight with you on that.
I don't think Colorado's going to sweep. I think McDavid's got it in him to win at least a couple games. But I think overall, Colorado's too well-balanced of a team. They're too strong offensively. They can anything that Edmonton can throw at them, they can do the same thing. Not that Calgary didn't have star power, but Colorado has matchup equal star power to that.
Yeah, they got the depth.
You have the two best players in the world playing, Connor McDavid and Nathan MacKinnon. And then Draisaitl's arguably up there. Rantanen's probably the best secondary player on a team in the NHL at this point, other than Draisaitl.
It's going to definitely come down to the goalies.
Yeah.
Because even Kemper looks a little shaky at times.
Yeah, he's not, I'm not going to say he's very good.
No,
he's fine.
And obviously we have our issues with Smith.
He's zero consistency.
But I think Mike Smith understands that this might be his last year, and he's going to battle his ass off.
I agree, but I think his age is going to catch up to him here.
Yes, true. However, them eliminating Calgary that early and allowing some of the other guys to go to Game 7 pays dividends to Mike Smith because it allows him to rest a little bit. He got a little bit of rest. Was it enough? Time will tell.
Tampa Bay has had rest.
Like you said, they got a horseshoe up their ass, and
they're just like Golden State in basketball. Every time they face a team, that team's star player gets injured, and they just destroy them in that series.
Yeah. Anyway, do we have anything else?
That's all I have. Are you good? Because I don't want to drag this out.
No.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Let us know who you think is going to win these two series, and have a good night.